Hi, it's Sarah here from Thriving Solo, and today we're going to have a little look at money mindset for practitioners. So it's how to charge well and still sleep at night. And we want to start by just accepting that being ethical doesn't mean being cheap. And we want to help people, but we've still got the rent, the taxes, and our other bills to pay. So we need to make sure that we're charging accordingly. So what we're going to do today is just take a little look at some of the mindset issues for solo practitioners. This is for, as I say, people that are running their own one-person clinics. It's not for giant clinics with sales teams. This isn't about squeezing clients, it's about having a pricing system that supports care and not pricing that replaces it. So we want to have a look at how we can be a stable practitioner giving better care because stress makes everything harder. So we want to have a look at how money is part of the treatment plan's container. It's just part of the same things as hygiene, time, and boundaries. So we need to treat it just the same as those issues. And we need to a certain extent, distance ourselves from it so that it doesn't become part of a feelings-led issue. We don't want to think, if I charge more, I'm being greedy, because I can guarantee that you're not being greedy. A lot of people feel like, they've been drawn to healthcare because they care about other people, and that can make it difficult to charge what really needs to be charged to create a sustainable business. But that's the whole point. You need to be sustainable. Your clients need to know that they can keep coming back to you, that you're not going to end up having to shut because you can't afford to keep the lights on. So just remember as well that your clients are paying for services in other areas, and yes, everybody's got to be careful of the money these days, but they will pay for comfort, they will pay for clarity, and that's what they're doing in other areas. If they don't pay it to you, they're going to be paying it to somebody else. So please just rethink things and think about what is going to serve your clients best in the long term. So defining ethical pricing for us means being clear, being honest, being consistent, and basing it on real costs. Fair doesn't mean accessible to everyone at all times. Undercharging can be unethical because if you undercharge, then you're pushed to rush sessions, to stretch boundaries, or you start to resent your schedule, and then you're not giving the best care to clients that you can. It makes your business fragile, so care can become unstable. As I say, you might be worrying about whether or not you can keep the lights on, and that transfers to your clients. They start to feel it. And it also trains clients to undervalue the work, even the ones who can pay. So just remember, my fee protects the space where healing happens. So it's, like I say, a part of the whole container. It's not just the money that you're going to, spend on other things. It's the money that allows you to provide the level of care that your clients are looking for. So, like I say, a lot of health professionals learn to focus on service, not on sustainability. So you start to price yourself against the cheapest option in town. That is really not a good idea. You need to make sure that you are covering the invisible work that goes on. So the work that your clients don't necessarily see, charting after they've gone, laundry, supplies, booking messages, continuing education, and there's all the work that came before, all the training that you put in the first place. And like I say, just the things that we have to pay all the time, rent, taxes, etc. So we can still care a lot, but charge properly. Both can be true. Please don't rush to the bottom in terms of pricing. Have a look at what pricing is going on in your area, but you also need to do a reality check against what you need to bring in to run a sustainable business. So just start with your monthly business costs. What are you paying for rent, for supplies, for software, for insurance? What about your personal income needs? Food, housing, loan payments, savings. Add taxes because they're going to show up. You might not be paying them out straight away, but they will come calling. So make sure that you have put aside sufficient money to cover your taxes. Divide all this by realistic billable sessions, not the fantasy number, how many hours you have got for, as I say, billable sessions. The thing is that you're still going to have other hours outside of that you've got to cover for yourself. But have a look at that figure and see, does that come anywhere near what the reasonable charges are in your area? So, like I say, you've got a limit. Your fee has got to match your actual hours. Please don't undervalue the work that you do. I'll link to a few posts. I've covered how easy this is for new people to the business to get wrong from the start. So you do need to make sure that you're getting it right from the start, but you also need to continue and maintain prices. When did you last put your prices up? I used to run a system that I would review my fees when year end came around, the financial year end, tax year end, and do it in line with that. You need to figure out what works for you. You might even need to review every 6 months if things are very fast changing in your area. And just remember that your fee is not just a price, it's what that fee signals. And it signals to your clients a level of professionalism and confidence. And if you underprice, then your clients are going to worry about, is this the best person for me? Are they well enough trained? If their fee is that low, is it because they're missing something? Is it because they're cutting corners? It provides predictable boundaries for your clients. They know what they're getting charged. It's not changing from week to week. And it provides the reassurance that you can provide a consistent level of attention and follow through to them. So don't underestimate what a client fee actually does. As I say, it's not just the price that they pay, it's a signal as well. And it's very easy to avoid raising prices because you're worried about losing clients. But as I say, if you don't consider what you need to do to keep your business sustainable, then that is false. It's a false flag for your clients. So we'll have a little look at how you can raise prices without feeling like a villain. As I said, one of the ways to do this is to normalise it. Prices go up in every industry, including healthcare. Just make sure that you've got a simple ethical process. As I said, I used to raise my prices in line with tax year end, or new tax year starting, should I say. Decide the new fee and the date and then stick to it. Do give your current clients sufficient notice, 2 to 6 weeks, depending on your setting. I used to give probably about 4 to 6 weeks. I would definitely make sure that they knew that when they attended the next session, the price would be going up. So that was one of the things that, because I knew when my prices were going to go up, I was able to let my clients know about that quite easily. Keep the message short and calm. Don't apologise. Just explain, it could be starting on such and such a date, my session fee will be X. This keeps the practice sustainable and supports the level of care that I want to provide. And just leave it at that. Don't over-explain, because that then makes it look as though you're not confident in the price that you're setting. If you are feeling uncomfortable, and that is a normal feeling, then, like I say, just consider what is the standard fee in your area and have a think about your access plan. If you're worried that there are clients that won't be able to afford you in future, is there some way that you can package your services so that they perhaps pay a lower fee but they're locked in for longer? Or do you have a community clinic day once a month? Do you have a number of slots that are only available for low income families? You can decide this. This is your business. But limit those places if you're doing sort of reduced prices, discounted prices, and make sure that once they're full, then the person has to go on a wait list for when another option becomes available. You could possibly do shorter follow-up sessions for simple cases if it's clinically appropriate, but make sure that it is in line with proper care. Mention referrals as you care. You can still, help by getting people to refer you so that it's a win-win. They get their next session a bit cheaper and the new person gets a session a bit cheaper, but you're adding to your portfolio, and so it means that you can afford to do that. Accessibility should be a plan, not a panic response to the fact that you've had to raise prices. So just make sure that you also have boundaries in place that carry that pricing for you. We've talked about this before and I'll link back to them, but a cancellation policy, late policy, having payment due at the time of service, receipts and insurance paperwork rules if you're covering that. You need to make sure that you explain to your clients why this matters, that these consistent rules help protect the clinic to be able to continue running, and help for you to be able to provide a continuous service to your clients. So you might get a few objections occasionally. Somebody might say, I can get it cheaper elsewhere, and you can respond with, that makes sense. If price is the main factor for you, then that option may fit better for you. They may ask, why is it so expensive? And it's good to remind them, you're paying for my time, my training, and the full session experience. Include everything that supports safe care. You might get somebody say, can you make an exception for me? You then decide whether or not this is somebody that you feel qualifies for a special rate if you do one, or it could be, as I say, that you offer them a package so that they actually get a discount for booking a certain number of sessions with you, but they have to pay that potentially up front rather than, I wouldn't personally give them a discounted session price for a package that they're paying each time they come. I would expect them to be paying for that up front. So if they come up with some of those issues, like I say, think about what you think they might want to raise as common objections and have something ready to respond to those objections. That should make you feel a bit more comfortable about it. Like I say, giving notice of a change that's coming up, being prepared for objections, and having just a sentence or two to respond. And it doesn't need to be a lot of chat about it. Like I say, one sentence is sufficient. And if they wish to go elsewhere, then please just advise them that yes, they're welcome to do that. It's not a good idea to alter your prices simply because they threaten to go elsewhere. So let's just a quick review over what we've covered. Like I say, we need to make sure that we are charging a price that makes our clinic sustainable. We need to make sure that we keep that price to a level that supports us and is consistent with the market, not the lowest, but make sure that it is something that is reasonable for the area that you're in. If you can't charge something that is reasonable for the area that you're in, if you need to charge more, then, like I say, perhaps think about other ways that you can manage this by introducing packages for people that find it less affordable, maybe having a different sort of setting, having a discounted session for X number of sessions per week, or perhaps having a multi-bed clinic. So I hope that this will give you a little bit of confidence with the money mindset going forward. We're going to come back to pricing and money mindset on a number of occasions. So this is really just a refresher, an introduction to the subject. And if you've got any concerns about pricing, please drop me a comment in the chat so that I know what to address going forward. But for now, please have a look at your pricing. Think about when you last altered it and whether it's time to consider changing it again soon, so that you can set a price, set a date, and start to give your clients notice in advance. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll be back with further tips again soon.